Welcome to another Operabrunsj at the digital KIrsten Flagstads-festival. And today here is Elisabeth Teige, another wonderful Norwegian soprano. What is it with Norway and sopranos?
That's a very good question, which
It's a terrible question.
It's a terrible question. I don't think I can answer that properly, but yeah, it's maybe like a coincidence now that we have this many singers, sopranos, not only in Norway but in Scandinavia. I have the feeling it's a lot of them, but if it's like the Norwegian air or the mountains or whatever.
That's a good explanation.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm a city girl. I was raised in the city, so but we have, of course, we have all the mountains around my hometown, Ålesund. Yeah. We have all the mountains, but no, I don't know actually.
Well, from the beautiful Ålesund until something that's very uncomfortable. It's also an uncomfortable question, but how did the corona affect you? I assume pretty terrible.
Yeah, it was this spring was supposed to be one of my busiest springs. I had enormous amount of work. When it hit, I was in Prague doing Fidelio there, and like a week before, I was there with my mother and my son, and we had a good time. And but we already started with the antibac, and every time we did something, every time we had a meal, every time we used the antibac. I remember this. My mother was very like, we have to do this, you know. And then I had 2 performances, and I went home, and then I had 3 performances there, which I missed. So, and this was in March, and in April I was supposed to go to Hamburg and do the same role, a different production, of course, and of course that was off. And then I had also in May I had a Fidelio in Dresden. That was also a huge thing for me. I was there 2 years ago, and I was very much looking forward to go back, but no.
But worst of all must be the cancellation of your debut in Bayreuth.
Yeah, that was pretty sad. Yeah, I expected it, of course, weeks before we got the message. I never thought we were actually going to do it, but it was pretty sad when we got the email from Katarina Wagner about it being cancelled. Yes. But very quickly we also got the message that it's postponed to 2022.
Oh, so you will do it?
I will have my debut there, and yeah, it will be. I think it will be amazing. Yeah.
Yes, it will be. Of course, it will be. And I assume this autumn is hit as well.
I guess so. I have the next thing I have, which isn't cancelled, is Turandot at Deutsche Opera Berlin in September, October. Still, it's not cancelled, and it looks like if we're not going to have like a full production, because they also have this 200 maximum 200 people in the audience. So if they're not opening up, we're going to do like a concert, I think. Yeah.
It's quite impressive. You're so young and you're going to do Turandot.
Yeah, that was. I did it already last autumn in October, and I got the question, the offer, and I went some rounds thinking to do this, and I think that if you do it with your own voice and your own technique and yourself, and not try to be anyone else, and just know how you sound, that's the reason they hire you anyway, because they want to hear your voice and not like, you know, someone else. So I was pretty confident actually when I did it. The night of the premiere, on the other hand, I was very nervous.
Yes.
But it went very well. I only had also 2 performances, so it wasn't like 10 performances. It was 2, and I'm also going back there and doing 2. So it's like baby steps for me
Yes.
to do this.
I remember many years ago I asked Ingrid Bjoner, who was one of our great Norwegian Wagnerian
Yes.
sopranos, you know, how hard is it to do Turandot? It's such a, all these, you lie up here in the high notes all the time. And so she said, oh, that's a piece of cake. I mean, talk about Brunhilde or the other huge Wagner roles.
Yeah.
Then you come on and you sing for, what is it, 15 minutes? 20 minutes maybe, and
it's not very long.
It's not
role,
long, and then you can get off stage and have a beer.
Yeah. I like that. I like that idea. Yeah. The thing about Turandot is that it's not the long role, as you say, and so if you have a decent singing day, and people supporting you, a good conductor, and good colleagues, it's easier to sing Turandot than Elsa. I've done Elsa as well. I don't know if I can compare it any longer because I did Elsa in 16 and I do Turandot in 2019 and 2020. So it's, you know, it's, my voice is different now, I think. But I agree. It's easier.
Easy.
I agree with you.
In the terms of the word easy can be used.
Yeah,
in terms
of course.
But
well, it's not easy, but it's
it comes a bit easier. Yes. But at Bayreuth you were going to do Gutrune.
I was going to sing Gutrune, yeah.
KIrsten Flagstads, what does she mean to you?
Well, I think she means a lot to many people. I think in Norway, both singers and, you know, not singers. I think because she was the first superstar opera singer in Norway, and she made a path for today's dramatic soprano fach around the world, I think. I started late with music. Everyone who knows me knows that. And when I started high school, I started with the drawing and the painting classes. And I wanted to be a hairdresser, but it didn't work out. So I...
Thank God.
Now, it's... but then I didn't know what to do because I wanted to be a hairdresser and the plans went, you know, away. And so I started to packing fish at a place called Westfish in Ålesund. I did that for a year. And I always liked to sing, but I always sang pop and stuff like that. And after a year, coincidence, I think, I started in music high school. There was no auditions at the time, so nobody actually knew that I didn't know any music. Like I couldn't sing, I couldn't do a note, I couldn't play one right note on the piano. I didn't know any theory, I didn't know any history. So I was just put there with all of these wonderful musicians who has been playing the piano or the violin or the guitar since they were like 5 or 6. And there was I didn't know anything.
What did that feel like at the time?
It felt really hard. And I think that through the first and the second, well, the first year, I thought I was never going to do anything, have anything to do with music again. It's too hard. But I struggled through the 3 years. When I got to my second year, I got a new singing teacher, and she really early heard that I had a classical talent, and she asked me, "Do you know Maria Callas? Have you heard of KIrsten Flagstads?" And I think I'd heard of Flagstad, but I had never heard of Callas. And I went home, and my mother, she had heard of both of them, and she got really, she always had like, her Callas was her favorite, and she got all these tapes and books and everything, and she was really hooked on Maria Callas. But Flagstad is more difficult to find recordings because
Yes.
it's older, and but then I got this CD, because I have to say about the leader that I'm singing this year at the festival. I always loved them, listening to them, but I never thought they were going to be my thing, because I don't know if I have if I have an answer for my own for this, but
Strauss wasn't played a lot after the war because of his politics during the war, and he was sitting sort of in a house arrest in a villa in Switzerland, and his son was able to visit him once a year. And when he came there once and he saw his father sitting there writing these furious letters to the government and to opera directors and opera houses, and said, and so the son says, "Stop with the letters. Why don't you write some nice songs?" And 1 year passed, and the son came back, and he met his father, walked right past him with some sheets of music like this between, like it smelt bad, and gave it to his wife and said, "These are the songs that your husband demanded I write."
okay,
That was the fearless.
the treasure.
That was the treasure, and of course it was written for KIrsten Flagstad, and she did the first concert. I was told this by the grandson of Strauss, which
That's amazing.
I thought it a fascinating story, and almost directly from the horse's mouth. And I have told this story a few times, and nobody seems to know that. You, of course.
I didn't know.
You didn't know?
No.
How amazing. I'm happy.
Thank you for this story.
So, and Flagstad singing it maybe means something for you being Norwegian.
Yeah, as of course, her being Norwegian and have the position that she still has, and you know, it's and the way she sings them in this recording that I've heard, the first premiere in 1950 with Furtwängler.
Yeah.
No, it took me. I love the way she does it, and it's so close to how Strauss wanted it. I think he couldn't experience it because he died the year before. But no, it's something special, and
it's special for you to sing.
It's very special for me to sing them, of course. And I hope to sing them again and again. And
oh, you will.
I really hope
Years
so.
to come.
This was, you know. Yeah, this time I'm doing it in the festival is the first time I do it, and we have to start somewhere, and then, yeah, I hope to do it again.
And also, it was good maybe to have such a huge piece of work to work with during the Corona.
Yeah, I before they asked me to do it in the festival, I decided to start working on them by myself. But sometimes it's difficult, and I don't think I'm the only one who lost the drive in the middle of this, and I did for some weeks. I did, and especially when the Bayreuth was cancelled and everything else was cancelled.
Yes.
And then I started with them the songs. But then I was asked to do them here, and then I really had a goal, and I really appreciate having this goal to do it. Yeah.
Apart from cancellations and losing the drive, it must also be hard economically.
Yeah, it has. I have to plan much more now. I worked a lot before this happened, so I still have finances to that I can live, you know. I had a pretty good year, original, and it just everything went away like this. So it's
typical question, which is also not comfortable, I guess. But do you have a dream role? Is there something you'd really like to do?
Well, it may sound like a cliche, but I of course want to do all the Brunhildes in one ring, in the same ring,
Same
same
ring,
production.
yes.
That's a big dream for me. I don't have to do this tomorrow or next year. Before I do this, I love to sing the Italian Fach, and I've done Tosca, and I've sung Madame Butterfly, which is my favorite role.
You
ever.
did that
I did it here.
just recently
I just
in
did
this
that
house.
here. Right before the corona struck, I did 11 performances here.
You got
So thankful.
wonderful rave reviews.
Yeah, that was so much fun.
Yes.
I had known about it for 2 years, and I was very much looking forward to it, and I wasn't disappointed. It was fantastic experience. And I also would like to sing other Italian repertoire before I sing the big German repertoire. I sing. I have done Sente a lot, and I'm doing that in the future. I do a lot of Fidelio, so and it's not tiny roles either.
No.
It's pretty big. But I also would love to sing Sur Angelica. I would love to sing Santuzza. I would love to sing that. And
you have all this ahead of you.
Yeah, I do.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, it's so much to sing in this repertoire.
Yes.
But the big dream is to sing all the Brunhildes in one ring. That is my
So
dream.
I have one last question to sum up. What is like filleting fish for a year?
Well, I didn't actually fillet the fish. My job for almost a year was to unpack the card boxes and put plastic in them, because you are on this collecting band of people. I was at the top, so I opened the box and I sent it. So I was not. I didn't touch the fish.
You didn't touch the fish.
But I smelled like fish when I got home. I did that. Fish and money.
Fish and money.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So that funded your education, maybe.
Yeah. It was. Well, I was young. I was too young to actually be sensible, reasonable of putting the money away. But I had a lot of fun. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you. So nice to be here.